4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, it's Ranchin bringing another circle of commentary. It's going to be set 2 between Hite Sparkyz versus Woongjin Stars. Horang2 against MVP on destination. We're going to have Horang2 as the purple/violet/pink protoss at 11 o'clock. We're going to have MVP as the green terran at the 5 o'clock. Players playing for Hite and Woongjin respectively. It's going to be on destination, as I've already said, 2-player map. Somewhat protoss favored. Most likely due to the fact that I can wall off the 4 o'clocks or 10 o'clock expansions. That definitely helps them out. And they can just wall off bridges with pylons, which really all in all just helps their expansions from being harassed by Terrans unless they have drop tech. In which case cannons and such help, so vultures really can't get through. You're gonna have to have siege tanks get themselves into pretty vulnerable positions. I've actually already recorded this game once, but because Splitter is a horrible program, it splits my videos wrong. It says it'll split 10 minutes 57 seconds, but it splits 11 seconds 06, which means that YouTube rejects the video and I delete the source file, having perfect trust in my programs, and that trust is unfounded. And I have very little hard drive space due to all the crap that I have on it. So I was forced to delete the source files, and now I'm ashamed of myself, and now I have to redo this. But no matter, it's a decent game, so I don't mind bringing it to you guys again. But seriously, if any of you guys know a decent Avi splitting program aside from Avi Splitter, please let me know. I'd really love to. If it's a program that actually splits the files. If I tell it to split into 2 separate files, it actually splits it down the middle, and if I tell it to split from point A to point B, it actually splits from point A to point B, not point A plus 3 seconds to point B plus 5 seconds, or some such. But yeah, if you ever guys see like some hiccups between the videos, like one video starts 3 seconds before the last video ended, that's the kind of crap that I have to deal with. Love you, Splitter. So let's actually get to the StarCraft. Standard stuff so far, no 10-15. From Horang2, just putting up a cybernetic score alongside a simulator, should be up pretty soon, so he's gonna, yep, there he goes, start mining gas. On the opposite side, we're seeing gas mining from MVP alongside. I believe he's putting down his factory, not quite sure at this point, probably gonna go for quite possibly gonna go for a 1 factory into expansion. Not seeing the factory up yet because the barracks is still building. It's just up now, so the factory is gonna be put down momentarily for scouting. SCV no going out, no scouting probes so far for Horang2. Horang2 kind of those players that was really promising early on, and just he's played very few games, only like less than 20, so you can't really say if his probably gonna. He does have a win ratio. He has over 50% win ratio, so that's something. But he's still very young. Some of the names that he's defeated are not really that huge, but you know, we'll see how all in all he plays as things goes on. He's not a bad player by any account. Pretty decent, so we're going to see how he does for the Sparkyz. MVP on the opposite side is one of those guys that's kind of, you know, one of the guys in search for the turns. He's actually pretty decent against Protoss. He has a win rate against Protoss, 3 against 2 going into this game, I believe. Horang2 not getting his goon range alongside the goons, so MVP's not going to have that scout inside for very long. He's definitely not going to have it long enough. Horang2 also put a proxy pylon at the 2 o'clock. We're gonna see whether that's for to hide tech or for getting ready for a double expand. I don't think that's the case though. Several Marines being created by MVP, also getting a machine shop, suggests to me that he might be going for several 4 to 5 Marines, adding in a tank and maybe pushing out. But second gateway going down for Horang2, and I think Horang2 is gonna have definitely enough Dragoon production to prevent any sort of early pushes. Not seeing any cheese. I'm not really sure if that's hiding the tech or not. A probe gonna come in here. Horang2 instantly get a pushback. Barely manages to keep it alive. That's lucky for him there. Very good reaction time. 4 Marines ready, all getting shots. This is just gonna wait for those shields to recharge. Barracks now floating up to the left. It's gonna go around, probably float up to the base and just get us a full-on scout. SCV going out, spotting the pylon, so that's probably not going to be any proxy tech for Horang2. Horang2 on the opposite side does have quite a few Dragoons. Dragoon range on the way. This SCV scout is going to get killed, so if he's not going to have any scouts. Sorry, lost a couple of units so far. So now, never mind, no push, just the tank. And Marine's going to push out and just defend this expansion. So it is going to be 1 factory into expansion, and he's probably getting that usual, just getting machine shop, getting mine upgrades, and getting quick vultures after that first tank to help defend against any dragoons that might be coming in, because you are a little bit vulnerable depending on the dragoon numbers. Now quite a few dragoons now out. First vulture, yeah, they're out putting out mines. 2 dragoons out there to meet the vulture. Going to take 3 dragoons, in fact. The vulture is going to go down, but the dragoons are not going to push out. Probe there as well. Probably knows that doesn't want to face the mines. He's going to be on the opposite side, putting down his expansion as well as the robotics facility. So he doesn't have any scouts inside of MVP's base. That hasn't gotten any scouts. So this is just to me that's probably going for an observatory rather than Reaver harassment. Although he could, I'm sorry, follow that up with some Reaver harassment. A little bit hoarse for some reason. I apologize about that. So 4 dragoons so far in defensive position. I'm not quite sure if MVP knows that expansion is being put up. But 2 gateways alongside, and pylon being put down a little bit further to the left for eventual attack, and as well as spotting any drops that might come in. Engineering bay as well as his second expansion, so he's definitely ready. MVP is definitely ready for any sort of Reaver harassment that might be coming his way. At least he's going to be adding some turrets in to help defend his position. So both players just playing pretty standard so far, adding in expansions. Vulture's going to get by, going to spot that expansion, and oh, is indeed going to get up the ramp. Going to go try to spot the 2 gateways, but not going to spot the observatory that's just now coming up. So not going to spot the tech, only going to spot the fact that Horang2 is just now going to get up his macro. Second factory almost up now alongside the engineering base, so we're going to see turrets up fairly soon, and just mostly tank production so far. We're going to probably see siege mode, if not ready, is going to be ready fairly soon. 4th gateway now just popping in, so we're going to see a lot of Dragoon production early. I'm seeing a lot of protoss do this against Terran. Very early on, you get mostly Dragoon production, where they're much more useful because of the vultures that can be used, and the fact that tanks are not in that large a number. But as the game goes on, we're probably going to see a Forge, Stool of a Dune, to get those zealot legs, which are so necessary to drag mines and to get in close against those tanks up close and personal. First Observer now out for Horang2, so he's going to go around, get the Fallen Scout. There are some turrets around, so he has to be careful not to get that killed. NCV mining minerals inside of the main of MVPs just to give him an easier movement route, and Horang2 in the opposite, that's going to block off one of his bridges. That's very smart. The vultures not be able to get through that. Citadel of a Dune also being put down, so we are going to see those zealots speed up fairly soon. Second Observer also out. Dragoons at the 2 o'clock location just protecting. He's possibly thinking of expanding the location. Is he going to go up to spot that there is no nexus coming up yet? I think if Horang2 put up a nexus, that he would put himself a little bit short. He would have to cut Dragoon production for a little while, and that would not help him out. Quite a large number of vultures so far out. I believe that's a 3rd factory going down. Yeah, it is. Some tanks. 4th factory as well. Observer, meanwhile, just sitting there, spotting exactly. There are some turrets being put up there, so has to be very careful. Templar Archives coming up, as well as the Stargate. So very early Arbiter is going to be coming in from Horang2. Horang2 taking very quickly, only on 2 base. Putting down his second assimilator just now. Also going to take down his mineral only at the upper right, but still only 2 gases. Going to have 2 gases and getting Arbiters of that. This very quick teching. Just going to come down to how he manages to use those. Of course, early Arbiters are very, very useful, very good aggressive troops, and hard to take down unless you get a large number of Goliaths. Vulture running around there spotting another pylon being put down, so he's probably figuring that Horang2 is going to go for an expansion. Just running around with some vultures, planning out mines into movement routes. Going to get caught up in those pylons though, pardon. So he's going to be forced to move back. Doesn't lose any single vulture though, so just go around. Sorry. I'm a little bit hoarse and funky. More observers flying around, so Horang2 just getting a scout. Another, I believe, yeah, a 5th factory now being added in by MP, so he's going full on macro. I'm not quite sure whether he's producing tanks off 1 or 2 factories actually. On the opposite side, Arbiter Tribunal coming up for Tribunal. I think it's Tribunal coming up, as well as more gateways for Horang2. Just now starting Zealot production, which means that Zealot speed is going to be up fairly soon. Also now getting his mineral only Nexus. I think he's going to be popping down a Nexus at 2 o'clock fairly soon too. And MVP now moving out to defensive positions just outside his base, just outside his bridge. Just has a few Marines, quite a few vultures, and just sieging up his tanks in preparation. This is what I like about Destination, that there's one large area just outside your natural that you can just stick a bunch of troops into and just hold it and defend it. Arbiter Tribunal now up and ready. Armories coming up for MVP. Also has those scanners, so he's going to be getting the full-on scout, getting the Ticker. I'm not quite sure. Also moving in with his barracks here now, so he's going to get the scout and that first Arbiter that's going to be built. Vulture's also running around, just seeing if there is going to be expansion. And there, oh, nice pylon wall there. Horang using a nice pylon wall to block off his mineral only, so there's going to be no harassment there, and also going to put up his national. A lot of gateways being added by Horang2, so he's going full on macro. Now going to be producing a lot of zealots alongside those dragoons. Also going to get those arbiters, but MVP is going to know those are coming, so he's actually going to add an expansion of his own at the 8 o'clock. Just go float that CC up there, and he's probably going to produce at least a small number of Goliaths to help supplement his forces against those arbiters. Has an engineer floating out just in case there's going to be dropped. No Reavers so far, just no Reavers whatsoever, so that just no shuttle really, just observatory to get used. That just going very quick arbiter tech. A lot of vultures now in the field. MVP, a few dragoons here at the 9 o'clock going to be caught, kill some vultures, but the rest of them going to fly away. There's a turret there, and the vulture should be able to handle those dragoons due to the huge numbers and their mine laying ability. 3 bases so far, 2 gas bases as well as a mineral only mining for Horang2. That mineral only at the upper right, it's, you know, you gotta decide. It's a much more easily defendable base, but the minerals don't last very long. Only 5 patches, I believe, so 5 or 6 patches.